My parents abandoned me when I needed them the most, but when their golden child got into trouble, they came begging for my support. What I told them left them speechless. I'm a 32-year-old guy, typing this from a hospital bed, still reeling from the chaos of the past 2 weeks. My parents abandoned me during my darkest moment, but when their golden child got arrested, they came crawling back, desperate for my help. What I told them left them speechless. I'm on pain meds, so bear with me if I ramble or mess up a few words. It was a Thursday night, around 9 p.m., and I was still at my law firm because that's the life of a partner, sacrificing weekends for endless paperwork and surviving on coffee and takeout. I just wrapped up prep for a big client pitch the next day. Corporate law isn't thrilling, but it keeps the lights on. The office was nearly deserted, save for a few overachievers and the cleaning staff. Our firm's in a historic building in downtown Boston, charming but poorly maintained. We're on the 5th floor, and I always take the stairs, convincing myself it balances out the 14-hour desk marathons. That's when things went catastrophically wrong. The cleaning crew, in their infinite wisdom, waxed the stairs without a single caution sign. Not one. At 9 p.m., when people are still in the building. I was halfway down, distracted by a last-minute email from opposing counsel, because of course someone emails at that hour, when my feet slipped out from under me. I tumbled down 2 flights of stairs, bouncing off walls like a pinball, and landed in a crumpled heap at the bottom. The security guard found me unconscious 10 minutes later during his rounds. The damage? A fractured hip. Didn't even know that was possible. 3 cracked vertebrae, and a concussion that left me clueless about the day of the week for 2 days straight. The doctors keep saying I'm lucky I'm not paralyzed. Lucky. Sure, that's the word for it when you're stuck in an adult diaper because you can't hobble to the bathroom alone. The EMTs who peeled me off the floor joked, "At least you're a lawyer. You can sue their pants off." Thanks. Chad or Brad or whatever your name was. Super helpful while I'm trying not to puke from the pain. The hospital called my emergency contacts, my parents, because I never updated my form since law school. You'd think they'd race to my bedside when their son nearly ends up in a wheelchair for life, right? Nope. Their response? "We're tied up right now, but let us know how it goes." Tied up. I'm lying here with enough screws in my hip to build a small bridge, and they're tied up because my younger brother, Ethan, is pitching his latest game-changing crypto venture to investors. More on Ethan later because that's a whole other layer of this family mess. This isn't even shocking. I made partner at a top 50 Boston law firm by 30. Their reaction? "That's nice, dear. Did you hear Ethan's working on a new startup?" Yeah, he's going places, straight to disaster, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So here I am, day 14 in the hospital, typing this on my phone because sleep's not happening, and the meds are making me introspective. The nurses are great. Big thanks to Mike on the night shift for the extra jello, but hospital beds aren't built for 6 feet 2 inches guys with broken everything. My firm's been decent, covering my cases and sending a fancy fruit basket because nothing says, "Sorry you nearly died," like gourmet apples. The building management's lawyers are already talking settlement, which is funny because I'm a lawyer. Do they think I don't see their liability? But that's not the real story. The real story is my family, and it's about to get messier. Let's rewind to give you the family context, since I've got nothing but time and painkillers. Picture Newton, Massachusetts in the 90s. Affluent suburb where every kid's destined to be a genius or a senator. My parents, Susan and David, I'll call them S&D to save my one-handed typing, were the classic suburban power duo. Dad's a CPA, mom sells high-end real estate, and they had their perfect life scripted. 2 sons who'd fulfill their every ambition. Enter me, the eldest. I aced school, led the debate team, and earned a scholarship to Boston University. Not bad, right? Then there's Ethan, 2 years younger, the family's anointed prodigy. Ethan's always been a tech wizard. At 13, he was building apps and games. Impressive, sure, but my parents turned it into a religion. Every minor thing he did, coding a basic website, writing a clunky app, was treated like he'd invented the internet. They'd throw family gatherings to show off his genius. Meanwhile, I'm grinding through BU, getting into Boston College Law, not exactly a second-rate school, and making law review. I graduated near the top and landed a job at a top-tier firm. When I made partner at 30, "That's nice, dear. Did you hear Ethan's learning AI development? Take last Christmas dinner." Ethan rolls in 2 hours late, because visionaries don't do schedules, wearing a $500 hoodie. He launches into a spiel about his latest crypto platform. Something about redefining digital wealth. S&D are hanging on every word like he's delivering the Gettysburg Address. I mentioned closing a $50 million merger deal, thinking it's relevant. Mom shushes me. "Sweetie, Ethan's explaining decentralized finance, like I'm some kid interrupting the grown-ups. And the money, oh, the money. Every time Ethan's startups tanked, which was roughly every 18 months, S&D would invest to keep him afloat. Their retirement savings? Gone. But when I needed help with law school loans? Sorry, son, you need to learn fiscal discipline. Ethan's never held a real job. He bounces from one failed venture to the next, living off investor cash and our parents' savings. I've worked 80-hour weeks since law school, built a real career, and bought a condo in Back Bay. Yet I'm the disappointment. The favoritism's unreal. When I made partner, they skipped my celebration dinner because Ethan needed help decorating his new executive office. But when Ethan filed for his latest LLC, full-blown party with catering and speeches about their trailblazing son, I once overheard Mom tell her sister I was just a lawyer while Ethan was reshaping the future. Why not cut them off? Family's messy, and I kept hoping they'd eventually see me. After this accident, though, something snapped. And when Ethan's latest scheme imploded, things got wild. Let's dive into that, because it's a doozy. Post-surgery, I'm lying in a hospital bed, my hip now part robot, drifting in and out of a morphine haze. The nurse says they've notified my parents. You know that primal need for your mom when you're hurt? Doesn't fade, even when you're a 32-year-old lawyer who argues with CEOs. I kept staring at the door, expecting them to burst in. My son almost lost his ability to walk. Surely that's priority one, right? Day one, nothing. No calls, no texts. The nurse kept saying, I'm sure they're coming. I got my phone, thanks to the saintly nurse who charged it, and sent updates. Surgery went okay, doctors say I'm lucky. Read at 2:34 p.m. Hip's a mess, might need more surgery. Read at 4:15 p.m. Would love to see you. Read at 7:45 p.m. Their replies? Dad, good to hear you're all right, champ. Busy with Ethan's project, keep us posted. Champion, I'm 32, half crippled, and he's calling me champ. Mom, oh, sweetie, that sounds tough. Ethan's stressing about his pitch, sending positive vibes. Vibes. Because vibes fix a shattered hip. Day 2. Silence. I saw on Instagram that Mom was helping Ethan pick out a suit for his investor meeting. She posted stories. Proud mama, entrepreneur, rising star. He's 30, not a rising star. Day 3. Dad texts, asking if I can review some contracts for Ethan's pitch. When you're up to it, I'm in a hospital bed. Day 4. Mom calls for 45 seconds to ask for work documents for Ethan. I remind her I'm hospitalized. Oh, right, that happened. Get well, sweetie. Click. The nurses started giving me pity looks, like they knew my family was a train wreck. One nurse, Maria, shared her pudding cup on day 5 because she could tell I was cracking. Imagine your parents being so absent that hospital staff start parenting you. Here's the gut punch. On day 6, I overheard 2 nurses outside my room. One asked why my parents never visited. The other said, we called them right after he was admitted. The mom said they were tied up with their other son's business deal and asked for text updates. Text updates. Their son's fighting for his life, and they want text updates because Ethan's PowerPoint is more urgent. That's when my cousin Alex showed up that evening, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. After some awkward chit-chat about my injuries, yes, Alex, my hip still feels like it's on fire, he spilled the tea on why S&D were too busy to care. Ethan's big pitch? He'd landed $20 million for his new crypto platform, promising to revolutionize decentralized assets with NFTs, AI, and blockchain buzzwords. S&D went all in, renting out a swanky Boston restaurant for a celebration, complete with speeches, champagne, and a custom ice sculpture of Ethan's logo. Alex showed me photos. There's Mom, crying happy tears as Ethan rambles about disrupting wealth systems. Dad's posting LinkedIn updates about his son's visionary leadership. The local news ran a piece. Local tech star secures massive funding. No mention of Ethan's string of failed ventures, just hype about his innovative track record. Meanwhile, I'm mastering the art of eating hospital pudding one-handed. The investors were straight out of a rich guy catalog. Fancy watches, designer vests. Ethan worked the room, tossing around terms like smart contract synergy. One investor, tied to some political bigwigs, threw in an extra $5 million on the spot. S&D were over the moon. Mom posted on Facebook, "Blessed, our son's changing the game. Proud mom, tech genius." Which son, Mom? The one changing the game or the one relearning how to sit up? During the party, Ethan gave a tearful speech about how family support made it all possible. Meanwhile, I'm watching Seinfeld reruns, begging the nurse I can handle the bathroom alone. Spoiler, I couldn't. The worst part? Mom texted during the party, "Sweetie, since you're recovering, can you review Ethan's contracts? We need them perfect." Recovering. Like I'm chilling at a resort, not hooked to an IV. I didn't reply. What do you say to that? "Sorry, Mom, too busy not screaming in pain." Alex, before leaving, said something that stuck. "Ethan's always bent the truth, but this feels off. It's too big. Oh, Alex, you prophetic genius. You had no idea. 3 weeks into my hospital stay, I'm getting the hang of my bionic hip, doing wobbly physical therapy like a drunk toddler. Then, out of nowhere, S&D burst into my room like they're fleeing a crime scene. No warning, just them, looking like they've been through a war. Mom's usually perfect hair is a mess, no makeup, a first. Dad's in yesterday's clothes, looking like he's aged a decade. They brought flowers. A wilted $9.99 bouquet from a drugstore, sticker still on. 3 weeks of nothing, and this is their grand gesture? Mom tries to hug me, which is a disaster with all my tubes. Dad's by the window, fidgeting with his phone like it's his lifeline. The silence is suffocating. Then Mom starts sobbing. Not the Instagram-worthy tears from Ethan's party, but raw, messy crying. Between gasps, the truth comes out. Ethan's revolutionary platform? A sham. The SEC froze his accounts. The FBI's sniffing around. Those investors? They included political heavyweights' kids. Ethan hadn't just hyped a fake platform, he'd sold them on an AI algorithm that supposedly predicted crypto markets with 97% accuracy. Fake data, fake returns, fake everything. The $20 million? It funded earlier investors, Ethan's luxury condo, his sports car, and apparently a private jet membership. Mom's still bawling. Dad finally speaks. Son, we need you. They'd burned through their retirement savings on Ethan's legal fees, mortgaged their house, and taken out loans to keep up his visionary image. Now they want me, the boring lawyer son, to save him. They want me to represent Ethan, despite my corporate law background, not criminal defense. They want me to pull strings to make the SEC back off, like I'm in a gangster flick. They want me to hide assets. Yes, commit fraud to cover fraud. And they want me to sweet-talk investors tied to senators all for free because family steps up. Mom says, this is your chance to show you're there for us. No mention of my injuries, my recovery, nothing. Just how I can save Ethan. The nurse walks in to change my bandages, sees S&D for the first time in 3 weeks, and says, "Oh, you must be the family. I thought our patient was on his own." The room goes silent. Mom tries to justify it. We've been so caught up with Ethan's crisis. The nurse's face says it all. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about Ethan's scam or their favoritism. It was about a lifetime of being their plan B, their safety net, their last resort when Ethan's messes exploded. Dad starts in about family duty, but I'm fixated on those sad flowers. 3 weeks. It took a federal investigation for them to show up. Mom pulls out a folder like we're in a bad legal drama, listing their demands. Defend Ethan, squash the investigation, hide assets, and charm investors. I start laughing, a unhinged, med-fueled cackle. They look at me like I'm insane. Let me get this straight, I say, wincing as I shift. You ignored me for 3 weeks while I'm fighting to walk again, and now you want me to tank my career to save Ethan from his own lies. Mom tries to interrupt with excuses, but I'm done. 32 years of being the responsible one, the overlooked one, comes pouring out. Do you even know what surgery I had? My recovery odds? That I might need another operation? Blank stares. But I bet you know every detail of Ethan's pitch breakfast. Dad tries his "listen here, champ" tone. I cut him off. I'm a 32-year-old partner, not your errand boy. I'm not risking my license for Ethan's fraud. Mom pulls the guilt card. We've already lost one son to this mess. Don't make us lose both. Lost? Ethan chose to scam people. He didn't trip into fraud. And they want me to sacrifice everything for him. I find my courtroom voice. Let me be clear. I'm not defending Ethan. I'm not hiding assets. I'm not pulling strings. I'm focusing on my recovery, which you'd know about if you'd visited once in 3 weeks. Dad's face goes beet red. You're being selfish, he snaps. This is your chance to prove your family. There it is. The truth. I'm not family, just their fallback. Get out, I say. They don't move. I hit the nurse call button. Leave, or security will make you. Mom's sobbing again. The nurse, the orphan comment one, arrives, and I ask for security. Her smirk is priceless. As they are escorted out, Dad yells, "You'll regret this when we're gone!" I shout back, "Better than regretting a disbarment." Then I need more meds because yelling with cracked ribs is a bad idea. 3 months later, life's a mixed bag. Ethan's platform? A Ponzi scheme with bells on. The FBI found $35 million in total, $20 million from the latest round, $15 million from earlier ones, funneled through shell companies to fake returns and fund Ethan's high roller life. Sports car, jet membership, penthouse. He tried telling the FBI it was a social experiment on financial gullibility. They didn't buy it. With political kids among the investors, the case escalated fast. It's not just fraud now. Money laundering, wire fraud, and conspiracy charges are on the table. S&D are in martyr mode. Mom's posting about how Ethan's a victim of a rigged system. Dad's begging lawyers for free help because they're broke, facing foreclosure after betting everything on Ethan. I'm out of the hospital, limping through physical therapy. I might always have a slight hitch in my step, but I'm alive. My firm's been great, letting me work from home and tossing me engaging cases. The best part? I'm free from Ethan's shadow. No more soul-crushing family dinners or comparisons to his visionary spark. I've blocked S&D on everything. They showed up at my place with more drugstore flowers and a binder claiming Ethan's the victim of a conspiracy. Security sent them packing. The twist? Ethan sent a 16-page letter from jail, whining about being in over his head and admiring my integrity. I sent it back unopened. The prosecutor asked me to testify about Ethan's past flops. I said yes. Mom sent a 5-page email about how I'm tearing the family apart. If you enjoyed this story and felt the emotions behind it, don't forget to give it a like, share it with others, and subscribe to the channel for more real-life experiences and heartfelt stories. Your support means the world, and it helps us bring more content like this to you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.